Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's regular board meeting, Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order, and for those of you who can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, can you roll call, please?
Supervisor Kowal.
Here.
Treasurer Roman.
Here.
Clerk Anderson, or Clerk Noble here. I'm sorry, Trustee Anderson. Trustee Voorhees.
Present.
Treasurer Roman.
Here.
And Trustee Smith.
Here.
And Trustee Ruggles is excused out of town.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I have a motion by Mr. Noble to approve the agenda. Looking for support?
Support.
I have support from Mr. Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Next item is public comment. This time you'll have 3 minutes to come forward and state what it is you have to say. And looky here. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing just fine.
Thank
I'm Chris
you.
Todd. I am the pastor of Oxford Lake Baptist Church. I had the pleasure of serving as White Lake Township Police Chaplain. And I'd like to just come and use my public comment just for an opportunity as we close out this year and look to the next year just to offer prayer for you all and for our township. So if you're so inclined, will you bow with me in prayer? Father, we're so thankful, Lord, for this past year, Lord, the blessings and the progress. And Lord, we just thank you for those in this leadership who have sacrificed many things seen and unseen, Lord, that they may serve the people of this great township. Lord, we thank you for our fire, our police, our EMS, and all of those first responders who have waited upon us and served us. And Lord, we just pray you strengthen and protect them. And Lord, as we look to this next year, Lord, we look to you for wisdom. Lord, I pray you just give this council that's before us the wisdom that's necessary to lead in this upcoming year, the challenges that may come. And Lord, with the unseen things we may not know of, but Lord, we're thankful they're here to serve for us. So Lord, give them your wisdom. Lord, guide us as we go through this year. And this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Todd.
Anyone else at this time? Public comment? Seeing none, closing public.
Can you comment on the car wash? Jack's car wash?
You can make a comment now if you like, or when the subject matter comes up.
Okay, I'll wait till it comes up.
Okay. That's how this board does that. We offer participation at that time. Okay. We have a consent agenda. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion from Mr. Noble to approve. Looking for support.
Support.
I have support from Mr. Roman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Minutes 7A and 7B, approval of the minutes of the special board meeting of November 4th, 2025, and of the regular board meeting November 18th, 2025. Looking for a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion from Trustee Voorhees. Looking for support?
Support.
I have support from Mr. Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Next item, new business request, approval of plan development agreement for Avalon. Mr. O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening, Township Board. Tonight you have before you the, draft of the final version of the development agreement for the Avalon project at Hill Road and M59. As you may recall, the Township Attorney now drafts these, which really speeds the process up, and she always does a great job. So thank you, Lisa, for taking charge with this. Obviously, the applicant's attorney worked with Lisa to kind of works on some of the language as to, taking our standard form and making it applicable to this project. Obviously, this is a very large project that is on about 110 acres, about 365 rental apartment units, I should say, and 68 single-family units on the east side of the road that are for sale. What's a little different about this project, and you can probably see with the number of deviations, is that many things driving where they needed flexibility related to the size, the scale of the project. And so a couple things I wanted to call out to you that are maybe a little different than deviations you've seen on projects in the past are, for one, their request to have a 6-year period to build the project out. The ordinance allows for 2. They initially had asked for, I believe, 10, and they came back to 6 years. And they do allow, there is an allowance in the development agreement for extensions. But obviously, with a project of this size, we haven't seen a project of this size before. It seemed reasonable to allow for the extra time just up front. And the second one had to do with the financial guarantees that the ordinance requires. When a project is under construction and wishes to start building single-family homes or moving people into apartment units, there is a requirement to get a punch list together, which lists all the deficiencies on a project, and that's where we take our guarantee, our bond to complete the project. And the ordinance requires there to be a cash bond or letter of credit in the equivalent of 125% of the value of all the outstanding items. In this case, they've asked for a hybrid approach where they would post the first $250,000 of that bond as a letter of credit or cash bond, and then for anything beyond that, they would use a surety. So if you don't object to that, I don't object to it either. It's just not something we've done before, so I wanted to point that out. So again, that $250,000, let's say in the case of a punch list being $1 million, that would be the first $250,000 in would be a letter of credit, and that would be the last $250,000 out of the bond, let's say, for completion. So those are the only 2 items I have. If there's any questions for me or for Lisa, we'd be happy to answer them. And Mr. Jim Galbraith and Mr. Mark Kassab are here on behalf of the project. Do you have any questions for them?
Okay. Go
Can I
ahead.
just make one
Sure,
quick comment?
please do.
There is some minor tweaking that needs to be done to this agreement. So I do ask
Yes.
any motion that you make, allow the the attorney and community development director to continue hashing out the final details of the agreement. That won't really change much of the substance, might just be adding a few things, and then authorize the supervisor to sign.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any questions or comments from the board?
Yes, reading through this, it says the community benefit will be a dog park dedicated to the township. Will it be like township owned and taken care of, or will there be some money to help support that as time goes by? Because I really would prefer that the township not take on that responsibility.
You want me to?
So the responsibility to maintain it, I believe the intent is for it to be us. There is some language in there, though, that allows them, in the event that we did not maintain it, to step in and do the maintenance work. That's unique, because usually we're doing the opposite. We're telling someone they have to build out infrastructure, and if they don't maintain it, we step in. I don't think it'll be an issue. If you remember, there was a different community benefit that probably was worth, I guess, value-wise, a fraction of what they're proposing now as far as community benefit from like a cost perspective as to what they were kind of investing in the area. So at the Planning Commission level, they were pleased to see this amenity added in place of the previous offered benefit, but they didn't talk a whole lot about maintenance, because that's really more something for you guys to decide. But our hope is certainly that there isn't a ton of maintenance. They're going to build it all out and basically turn the property over to us completed. But the community will be getting a free park.
So when you say community, do you mean the community of Avalon or the community of White Lake?
It'll be a White Lake Township Park. So it'll be built out, it'll be dedicated to the township and deeded over in an acceptable form, and then we will assume the maintenance of it once it's completely built out.
Okay, thank you.
And certainly, because it's public, all the people who live in either the for sale or for rent product that they have in that area would have access to it, but so would, anyone. I mean, it's public property. Anyone from any community, not just White Lake Township, but.
Just one clarification, after it's dedicated to the township.
Then we take the maintenance over.
And currently, the way this reads is after the development is completed. So we haven't really flushed out if it's one portion of the development, if it's the apartments or if it's the condos. But the way it reads right now, after all development is complete, and as you know, they're looking at 6 years. So they will build it, they will own it. After completion of development, they will then convey it to the township. We're going to tweak language on that issue, but also in the conveyance document, they're going to put language in there that we agree on, but essentially says that we are responsible at that point to maintain it. And then they want language in there that says if we fail to maintain it, that they will have the ability to do that. So we're going to have to tweak some of that language after we meet with our risk manager as far as allowing now a third party to come on township property. So just another one of those minor cleanups we're going to have to do.
And I would also say that, obviously they have 6 years per this approval to build it out. If after 4 years, the dog park was done and they wanted to deed it over, I see no reason why we wouldn't accept it if it were complete. But they have given themselves the entire 6 years to do it. So I don't think we would hold off on the development of it if it were done sooner, I guess is all I'm saying.
And instead of the 6 years and 4 years, we could get it signed over to us, is what you're saying.
I don't really know. It gives
No,
them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We have time to get it settled. Just
We do, and it
I
would be
just had
something we would
questions.
want to settle before we execute everything. So these are, when Lisa mentioned there are a couple things still to clean up, that's one item,
Yep,
for example.
exactly.
So-
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Trustee Smith?
I have a question and a comment. So, reverse, comment and a question. As my board knows, and for the residents watching this evening, I have not been supportive of this project all along because I don't believe our residents would like this project. I do want to clarify, it's not because of the developers. They've been good to work with. I think their product is quality. They've been cooperative. Everything we've asked for them to do is nothing to do with what you're providing. It's just, I don't believe it's best for White Lake Township. With that being said, I'm very pleased to see what you're offering to our township and residents with the dog park. That's something that our board has been trying to accomplish for quite some time. So I'm very happy that that will be available to our residents, so thank you. But along the way, I saw a proposal for a dog park and a park, and with perhaps a play structure, and I had requested that you might consider a toddler playscape within that, because we don't have that in White Lake Township to offer to our families and residents. So I don't see that in this plan. So my question is, what's happened to that portion?
So I don't know. We didn't really get into the specific design of all of the elements. There are benches, there are light fixtures, there are trash receptacles. All these things kind of are yet to be determined. I would think that we would probably want to work with them to match kind of the same theme that we're using in our other township parks. And they are offering I think a pavilion and a play structure in that facility, or in within the confines. So there is a
That
play
was my
structure.
understanding, but in this, what that's presented before us with the planning commission, it just says dog park. The dog park's wonderful, don't get me wrong, I'm over the moon about that. But I am just curious, will it include, a regular park-like setting, or will it just be a dog park?
I actually think I may still have it on my thumb drive. It is what they call a bark and play, so it's both. It's both a dog park and it is a park to be used for recreation too. Like for children to play too.
Okay, that's wonderful. I mean, if it's both, that's fantastic. Is that included, like, with what Lisa's working on and?
So the design will become an element of the final set of plans, the specific design for it, and so it'll have all those, I guess, amenities, included in the design.
But I think that that's a good conversation to have, because remember, it will be your liability and maintenance responsibility, whatever goes there.
Right, so I think it's really important to be clear from day one of what we're taking on and what we're offering to our residents.
Great questions.
Please state your name.
If I may, Mark Saab, 31550 Northwestern Highway, representing White Lake Hill. Here with Jim Galbraith and Jonathan Curry, the engineer. Trustee Smith, I think it was your ideas. Jim and I were happy to be at the Township Board meeting for another dog facility, and light bulb went off in our heads that, we should try to replicate this. We saw the enthusiasm and the excitement from not only the members of the residents that were here, but also the board members. To Sean's comments, we don't have the details. We'd love to be able to sit down with members of the Parks and Rec Committee or members that you see fit to design the proper park, something that can be utilized not only for the residents of Avalon, but residents for state of Michigan. Our intentions is for it to include playscapes for not only adults or children, I should say older children, but also younger children, inclusive of dog, make this top class, first class for all to utilize. So we'd be very open. And as Sean had stated, This is probably about 3.5 times the original amount of our contribution that we look to make towards the original township contribution. So this is going to benefit everybody, not only the park, the residents near the park, but also the residents of the township. But we're certainly open to sitting down, designing specific details, everything from colors to sizes, parking, drink and fountain locations, the whole 9 yards.
That's very kind of you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure, everyone's on the same page here, that we know what's happening moving
It's
forward.
only on a condition if you vote for this, though. If you don't, we don't get the park.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the last time, I emailed the park plan to all of you, and nothing's changed since then. It hasn't been further refined since then. It was a pretty comprehensive plan, but we'll get into all the details that Mark had talked about.
Yeah, if it's what I saw, it's great. And I appreciate you so much taking my suggestion and being willing to maybe do that. That's something, like I said, we don't offer our township yet. We don't have a small play skate for maybe children like 2 or 3 and under. So if you're willing to provide that, that's fantastic. So thank you.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay.
So I just wanted to get a clarification. Yeah, it's a great development and everything else, and as long as what you had sent us, as far as for the activity in the dog park and also the playground, which is there, I just wanted to be sure, like Trustee Smith, that it was confirmed that it would still be there. Because with the number of units and everything else, both rental and also as far as for single-family homes, it's going to be a cross-development of all different ages for that standpoint. So anything that we can add that is going to attract new residents, attract people that are living in White Lake that wants to go ahead and move to this development, it would be great. So that's what the comment I wanted to say about that. Number 2, just for a clarification with this plan development, when we're talking about 6 years, if the developer comes back to us and says, hey, things are slow as far as developing, are they locked into only having that 6 years, or can they come back and go ahead and ask for an extension based on, the build out?
They do have the ability to, and the language explicitly allows for them to get extensions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. And is that something, a decision is going to be made by you as far as in the planning department, or is it going to be made by the board?
It would come through the planning commission and board. It would go like any extension request.
Okay.
It would just be still allowed beyond that 6 years.
Okay.
So it would not be administrative. It would go through the normal process.
Normal
the full
process.
process, yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty quick process. We
Right,
Put a memo
right,
together,
yeah.
they make a letter of request. There's not a whole planning review. It's just a written request by them to extend for a period of time based on certain circumstances.
Okay. That's all I had.
Okay. I've reviewed this particular project. I don't have any problem with the 6 years, nor do I have any difficulty with the $250 cash as surety for the balance on the punch list. I also understand it's going to be a rolling punch list, so to speak, as things progress and things get done, that 250 will remain hard to the very end of the project.
As long as there is a punch list that would require
Correct.
that level of guarantee,
Or
yes.
it would be reduced.
Correct.
Correct. So I don't really have any problems, and based on the history, track record, and the product that they have built in the past, and knowing some of the one of the projects that they have, it's a nice product. So you can only hope that you get the best you can, and I think we're getting a very quality-minded development, and I think that the public benefit to the township in the form of a dog park is kind of a unique amenity, and I think it's definitely a plus. So any other questions from the board? Other than that, I'm looking for a motion. If not, motion?
I'll motion to approve the Avalon Plan Development Agreement, subject to attorney review, and authorize township elected officials to sign it.
I'll second it.
I have motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Clerk Noble, yes. Supervisor Kowal.
Yes.
Treasurer Roman.
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next item, preliminary site plan approval of Jack's Car Wash. Mr. O'Neill.
Good evening again. The Jack's Car Wash project, which is on one of the Meyer outlets at Bogey Lake Road and M59, the northwest corner in the outlot immediately west of the Taco Bell, was before the Planning Commission also on December 4th. They had a public hearing, as is required, for notice of intent to develop. The property is already zoned PB, which is the appropriate zoning district for this type of land use. At that time, the Planning Commission reviewed the plan and recommended approval, subject to all review comments and also subject to the relocation of the driveway that is proposed along Bogey Lake Road. It was our understanding during the discussion that the driveway location had gone to the road commission and they were requiring a pork chop, as you would call it, which is something that controls turning movements. The Planning Commission wanted to see the driveway moved further north to discourage, I guess, illegal left turning into the site. There's a lot of illegal left turning around the end of this this median already. So there's a lot of discussion around traffic. So this is the site plan. And again, the recommendation was for approval of preliminary, subject of the resolution of the driveway issue prior to final. And that's obviously up for some more discussion tonight. That all being said, just so you have the full picture, Mr. Jim Butler, who is the project engineer, the following day, a couple days after the meeting, let's see, let me get this, was kind enough to start working on revisions to the driveway in just hopes of trying to get something that's more acceptable. That's obviously up to you guys in the road commission, but here in red you can see where the pork chop was installed and in this sketch, and this would be the driveway out. This would be the driveway one way in. Obviously, there's a lot to still be ironed out at this point, but you know, what I showed you on the original site plan is what's kind of shown right here underneath the kind of red overlay. So this is sort of a new draft configuration that hasn't really been vetted yet. It was really more for discussion tonight. So the other thing that they're trying to maintain with this layout is cross-access to the project next door, the multi-tenant development that will have the Panera. And so that was something that they had cited during the Planning Commission discussion as being important to them. So again, the applicants are here today, and I'm sure happy to answer any questions you might have. I'm also happy to answer any questions that you may have as well.
Can you just point out to everybody where the Panera site will be? The multi.
Just to the left of that list.
Yeah,
I know where it is, just for everybody else.
yeah, it's right over here. Let me go back. It's not really zoomed out. It's right next door. I can actually bring up an aerial. That's not how you spell White Lake. All right. So looking at an aerial, here's the Taco Bell. Here's Bogey Lake Road as it's labeled. The site that we're talking about tonight is roughly in this area. There's a little bit of grade as you move to the west and to the north. And then kind of on a higher parcel right here is where the multi-tenant building is between the proposed car wash we're talking about tonight and the ITC corridor. And that is the multi-tenant building that will have the Panera in it. And then it's not shown yet, but this is where Culver's is across the street.
Thank you. That kind of helps ground everybody.
Can you go back to that?
Sure.
Please? So, because I agree, I think we need to make some adjustments to the entrance, so it won't be directly across. This is, to me, this is making more sense to me, to be honest with you. So it needs to be, we want it to be brought up further, correct?
Right, so the driveway is roughly in this location
Exactly.
here, and you can see, I mean, you can actually,
Like the
it's
boulevard.
blurry, but you can see tire marks where there's so much turning
Yep.
around this
They're
end
going
because
into
it's,
Taco Bell.
yeah, it's difficult to get from the Meyer site. It's impossible to get to it without going out onto M59 and making a Michigan left, and then coming down here and making another Michigan left, and then going north on Bogey Lake Road. It's kind of a ridiculous turning movement, but that's what you have to deal with here. So let's go back to the drawing. So you can see kind of where the top of the driveway lines up with the end. So it's kind of in this area. So that's kind of the underlying driveway, and I've got to go back and forth, sorry, between
Because it
different.
just is, for me, it's good to see the visual, and I think for everybody too.
So what they're talking about is moving it further north. Again, this is a sketch for the discussion of,
Yes.
purpose of discussion. It would have to be far enough north to where no car could still turn in here. At a point, someone would have to drive the wrong way down a one-way street to make a left in here. But again, all this configuration has to be suitable to the road commission before it would even be permitted. So this is something that they offered after the feedback from the planning commission and after the discussion on traffic, at that planning commission meeting on December 4th. So this planning commission hasn't seen this yet. This was between then and now for the purposes of some additional discussion tonight.
The main concern, I think, that is just this, is the driveway.
Yeah.
It seems to me, I remember there was a previous proposed development for this particular site, same use, and their plan was basically inverted, and they had their access entry point not along Bogey Lake Road, but specifically on that southern, I'll call it the Southern Service Drive. I don't know the name of that road.
Yeah.
But
It's some people call it Obdon, some people call it Autobahn, but that is correct. That in that plan, the entrance was up here and the building was moved in that layout closer to M59, but also over onto the side closer to Bogey Lake. So rather than it being right here as it's proposed, it was kind of over in this approximate area.
yeah, it would seem to me that would eliminate 99.9% of your problems.
There was talk about that at the Planning Commission, and again, I'll let the applicant speak for it, but the reason was that, they liked this layout. There was some grade up here. The reason they gave is they wanted to maintain this cross-access through here, and flipping it would not function in that way. That was the response at that time.
Where do we sit with Panera right now?
That's a good question. We have not heard much from them at all in months. We checked in with them, and they said they still plan to move ahead, but they've been very quiet.
I just have a quick question. I'm just brainstorming here. Even if we tweak this and solve this problem, it doesn't solve the Taco Bell problem with them doing the U-turn. Have you ever had a conversation with Road Commission about putting like a Michigan U further north on Bogey?
I have not. My hunch is that they'll ask me who's going to pay for it.
Okay.
But it's a question that can be asked.
Possibly solve, even if we make this car wash safer, it's still unsafe in that area because they're trying to get to Taco Bell.
Right. And you can't have a police car out there writing tickets all day, every day. It just is not practical. The road doesn't prohibit that turning movement physically, but there may be some other treatment that could be done in that area that at least prevents that turning movement if there's not an opportunity to create a Michigan left, as you've suggested.
Mm-hmm.
Well, part of the problem
That
is you're
might be
going
a
to.
solution.
Part of the problem is you're going to have people that are going to be going northbound, wanting to turn left into the car wash directly into southbound traffic
Right.
of that road. So it's going to could get very dicey in there. That's why if you flip-flop the plan and you just had the entrance remain on Bogey Lake Road, but literally took it and just flipped it over, you would eliminate that entire problem. So I'm not sure why you would be opposed to that idea. In particular, that another plan with similar product was functional on that particular site. So it's just getting away from that intersection. The other option, as Trustee Smith said, is to reach out to the road commission and see if they can extend part of that median further south with a hard curb, and that way people won't be jumping it, because a pork chop, all that is just a Daisy Duke lift.
It doesn't seem enough.
That's it. People just drive right over them. I could go down here to the tire store and you'll see them going over it every day, a couple times a day. And at Fisk Farm, the development there. They just drive right over it. Nobody cares. So I think that's just more of a suggestion to some people than it is a deterrent.
Yeah,
So-
many of them are not designed well. They either have a mountable curb that you could, you could easily drive a car over, or they're not severe enough, I'll say, and they're designed to where they create like any kind of a pinch point. You don't have to go into oncoming traffic to get around. And that's, again, they're designed a certain way, so there's still accessibility, but if it's so accessible, then it doesn't prevent what you're trying to prevent too. So it's sort of like they're competing interests. So definitely that's something that would have to be looked at.
So even though the preliminary site plan has been approved by the planning commission, it's still subject to this remedy being sought.
Right. It was the open-ended issue, but they felt like they wanted to send it to you guys for your feedback as well. And, the applicant was agreeable to work with him on, some reconfiguration. But at the time, and again, they talked about the flip-flop of the site, but at the time, they had wished to move ahead and work on a redesign of the driveway as opposed to, and they can certainly answer some of these questions for you
They have their
guys or speak to
opportunity.
it, but.
So if you guys, somebody like to come up and represent, and you'll have to identify yourself for the recorder, please.
Good evening. I'm Todd Gasson, Chief Strategic Officer and one of the owners of Jack's Car Wash.
Good evening, Jim Butler with PEA Group, the civil engineers for the project.
That is.
Okay, thank you.
So just a brief history, just real quick. I won't bore you with it, but Jack's Car Wash, I'm hoping everyone in here has heard of Jack's Car Wash. Name Jack's is synonymous with car washing. We have 47 car wash locations. We operate in 25 different cities in the state of Michigan. So we're very excited to bring a Jack's to White Lake. We have locations in Commerce, Walled Lake. We're looking to come north. This gives us really great connectivity and adds to our density. So very excited to come to White Lake. I think, Jim, is that the same picture that we
Yes.
have here?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to.
I'll share this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Jim, why don't you speak about the question at hand here?
Yeah, obviously the question at the planning commission was related to access. And, we have had preliminary review by the road commission. The road commission at first did not want us to have a full access turn there because of the concerns of the traffic movements that are occurring there. There's not enough stack if you're on northbound Bogey Lake Road trying to make a turn in. They were concerned about traffic conflicts on northbound Bogey Lake Road, southbound Bogey Lake Road, and potentially issues related to M59 Highland Road. So they came back and said, right turn, right in, right out will be your only opportunity there. So after the planning commission meeting, hearing the concerns of the planning commission, we went back and looked at doing a pork chop, doing a right in, right out. This is a little bit different type of pork chop. This is sort of a hybrid because of the concerns that you expressed about people just ignoring it and making that turn and going over it. We are not proposing to have a raised curb or a rounded curb. This is going to be a 6-inch curb. We also pushed this thing 25 feet to the north. So the center line of this drive is 25 feet north of that south nose island that's in Bogey Lake Road. So someone would have to turn, go up, and turn back around. It's very it's very deliberate in its way it's designed. The other thing, talking about Cosmo's Car Wash, that was the previous one that was in front of this board. A couple things there. This site is actually, there is a smaller site. There's 25 feet of the west property line that's been taken out. Panera wanted to have more parking for their development. And then also, Cosmos didn't have the idea of the cross access. So the grade up on the road to the north, trying to create this connectivity between the adjacent resident or retail development to the east, there's a significant grade fall. And to do that, we can't accomplish the way we want to run our business and our layout to make it happen. And we can certainly tweak this drive a little bit more. We need to talk with the road commission. We're working on a project down in Monroe County with their road, in REMDOT and the road commission. They came up with this idea for the development we're working on for that specific reason. It's not this small little pork chop. This is a very deliberate pork chop.
They don't work. Right there, you're gonna have,
Well-
you're gonna have a million accidents. And I'm against it. I'll just be frank with you, I don't like the plan. I'm along with Supervisor Kowal, it needs to be flipped. It's dangerous, we're gonna have the police up there, there's gonna be ice, cars are gonna come sliding down. It's a bad plan. And we have Culver's right there, Panera, and Panera, we don't even know if they're coming. So we're negotiating for the unborn. We don't even know if they're coming, do we?
I
We do or
don't know.
don't?
Pardon?
We haven't heard from them in a while. have
We haven't.
approved,
They
but they
apparently are
paused.
buying 25 feet from this property, so they must still.
We've had several meetings with Panera.
It's just dangerous. Mine's safety. It's a very, very, very poor plan, and you're gonna have accidents. It's too close to M59, to Supervisor Colwell's point.
Yeah, that's just a concern that I have, being in
People are gonna
close
jump
proximity.
that left and right.
You know, if you were to put this particular, we'll call it an island, not a pork chop, because it would need to have, I would call it a hard curb. That way it would deter people from driving over it. And if you were to move it any further north that you could would be good, but you also may want to, in the conversation with the road commission, see if there's an element that can be added to that particular median to go south that will
Well, one, if we move it any more to the north, we're eliminating our stacking, and then that's gonna be an issue.
So then
I think maybe there's a conversation to be had with
Yes.
road commission about, bringing that more south.
Take that nose
To
at
take
that
the nose
Boulevard
and
Island
bring it more
south.
down.
Yeah. So that would be something, because then people aren't going to be able to, because you're going to get the northbounders. Some idiot is going to try to do it. I tell you, it's just the way of the world. This is a better design than a standard pork chop, but it's going to, like I say, it's going to have what I call a hard curb. So that if somebody does it, maybe they'll get a blowout. They'll figure out they shouldn't jump a hard curb. So.
We can't get them to stop running our roundabouts. I mean, that's nowhere near
Those
that.
are mountable, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying with trucks and things like that, and it's so close to the M59, you have accidents left and right.
Are you opposed to just moving your entrance north to join that service drive? Where you can, I don't know what we're calling it.
Well, that was where the flip-flop of the plan
Yes,
came in.
Right, so
It-
this, where you could turn into Culver's, and then you can continue and go all the way to like the gas station in Myers? Does it have a name, the street?
It's either Obdon or Autobahn. I've seen it written both
I'm gonna
ways.
call it Autobahn, that
It
sounds
sounds more
fancier.
fun to say Autobahn.
Are you opposed to just having that be your entrance and then them turning left into your parking lot? It seems like that's a really
That was the
quick and
issue
easy
with
the-
25
fix.
feet.
With the
And then
cross
the
connection and the less property, and the way this functions for his operation, I'm not sure we can accomplish all that.
But you would just go the other direction. So, okay, so you would
But there's also
Turn
7
in.
feet of grade difference.
just bear with me and see if it works. So you would turn in left, or I guess you'd have to come up the Michigan U, right?
Yes.
And then you'd come back down and you
Yes.
would go right into this. And then you would make an immediate left where you have these cars lined up in the picture you gave us. I don't know where it's at.
But that's
Down by
the
Andrea?
entrance.
Well, she's showing up.
Where they're lined up, that's the entrance, Liz. Because I thought that same thing.
No,
it does-
right,
it
it's
does.
the entrance, but why can't it just go the other way? Why can't your flow go this way and go back out your building, flip your whole building?
Thing showing it up in here.
So your exit, I don't have anything to show you, but,
Still an entrance
So-
off of Bogey Lake?
so up here, this would come in, and why don't you make your flow go this way and back out? You have your flow going the other way.
Flip-flop the
You could just flip the whole flow.
Like Cosmo.
We'd have to be a minimum of
The
130
turn in
feet.
here and your cars would go, your arrows are going north, your cars would go south into your car wash and exit back this way instead of going,
We have to be 130 feet here. Yeah, we
you wouldn't
can't.
lose your parking, you wouldn't lose anything, you're just losing the direction.
The
You're
challenge
just
with,
changing the direction.
yeah, the challenge with that is your ordinance has a requirement for minimum spacing between drives of 130 feet. So we would essentially come in 130 feet. You see those three arrows?
What ordinance are you
But
referring
this
to?
board has the power to change that, correct?
Not for a site plan.
What ordinance are you referring to?
What's that?
What ordinance are you referring to?
There is a standard of 130 feet between drive spacings in your zoning ordinance,
Like the intersection of,
from a center line of intersection to a drive.
Yeah, yeah, there's a plan it is a plan
They could
development, so
go-
you are able to
go-
deviate.
Yeah, we can, our board can do that. Go this way, go in here and make this and then go this direction.
Yeah, that was, again, the initial thought was to.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll help her.
Should go up along here.
Right.
Liz, will that help you
Stay off the road.
to
Reverse all
demonstrate
this.
to them?
This drive would come down here, you would.
Get out
Yes,
back
so
here.
gentlemen, I don't know if you can see, but you would come in here, right here.
Yeah, I see it.
And then you would come in right here as your entrance. Then have everything go this direction, go right back out.
So at the hard corner, you'd have us, I'm sure that's particularly safe.
I'm not sure what you're changing other than the direction of your cars. This would become your entrance, that would be your exit. Your building would just be turned around.
So you're talking about having your drive here
Yep.
at that.
Yeah, I think there would have to be some distance between the driveway and the actual, intersection. I don't exactly know. Mike, do you know
Okay.
how far the
Someone-
intersection, like right here, how far do we need to be?
Well, 130 feet cited in your zoning.
As far as though, like actually making it work, if they were gonna deviate from it?
Because you'd ask someone to do an immediate turn. If they come through the
I
crossover,
do
right?
understand what you're saying. I'm
And
just
then make
saying.
a right and have to make immediate left in. I'm
Right,
not
so
sure
I-
that's that safe
So we
either.
have to have 135 feet for them to go left?
The ordinance talks about the driveway being 130 feet from the intersection, so you do have the ability to deviate and bring it closer, but there's just a point where, like, it couldn't be 30 feet.
Right.
Might be able
Yeah, I
to
mean,
be
you still need
90
to be
feet,
safe,
but
I
you know what I mean? Like,
understand.
there's probably some,
That's better.
I'm
number
just
where
trying to
it
get
would-
them off of bogey, anything off of bogey would be a lot safer.
We'll still be, okay.
Is this theirs, Sean, behind it? Or is that Panera's?
That's Panera's back there.
Yeah, that's the layout
There's the
for
very
Panera.
west side of the property, they're talking about selling a 25-foot strip of that land along the west property line to Panera.
What if they didn't sell that and they came in that way and then came around like this? What if their entrance was back here
What's the
and then
grade
they came like
difference
this?
in there? Can I ask?
7 or 8 feet, depending where you're at. Because we're building a retaining wall, that heavy black line you see on the plan, we're building a retaining wall. We're sloping down from the roadway and then building a retaining wall along there. So there's about 7 feet.
Would it work for you if you kept that 25 feet and you turned in here and then just kept your plan and you wouldn't change anything then? You would just direct your traffic right with this little white cars? Then you're turning, your traffic has room to line up, to turn in. If you get a backup, you're way off of bogey, you're way past 130 feet.
You can't read that. Just
You almost would be directly across from where you
999.9.
turn into Culver's.
999.9.
You see the entrance to Culver's on the
What's the one
right?
next to it?
Then your entrance would be almost across.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they
1,000.2.
exist, where that culvert's intended. Be offset. We'd be slightly offset.
Right, I mean, it'd be close. Sean, would that work? If they changed their entrance to almost like where Culver's is and then went left and they kept their flow and everything, they came behind the building?
I'm certain that if they have the desire to reconfigure this site, that something could work. I don't know if it would work for like the number of stacking, the number of square feet for their building. It's probably gonna be very hard for them today, standing here to try to make, a determination as to how the engineering will work
Yeah,
because of
I
the grades
understand
and
that.
things.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm trying to solve a problem,
Gentlemen,
As are we.
I'm going to go back, and she's basically talking about what I proposed, which is flip-flop of a sort, okay? And/or moving that driveway off Bogey Lake Road. That would eliminate a huge safety concern at the end of the day. Have you transacted that 25-foot parcel with Panera?
It wasn't us. We weren't selling them the parcel. We were helping them to make their project work.
So you're granting them an easement, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have to be, we would have to pick that up on their plan. We'd have to look at, we haven't seen that yet. Panera hasn't.
Okay. Mr. Roman?
So, I'm kind of on board with the rest of you. I was going to ask that you move your entrance exit north at least another 25 feet from where you have it now. I think you said the center line of that pork chop is 25 feet north of the south end of the median.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to move it another 25 feet, but you already said you can't do that because it kills your stacking. So that being the case, I would also rather see this thing flipped and/or find another way to move the entrance exit onto that Audubon Drive.
I think as much as it may be a pain in the tail section, it may be in your best interest if we table this and let you work on this. There's just a lot of uncertainty at this time. So rather than being denied, it might make sense for you to get a fair shot at working with Mr. O'Neill and our township engineer as required, and going after the road commission. Look at what maybe you can come up with option A, option B, option C. I'm not saying that, I'm just throwing that out there. So, but I think it's in your best interest to go back and take another look at this. And to Trustee Smith's point, take a look at that 25-foot. Are you cutting off your finger to save your hand, or vice versa? So there's just something that's just isn't gelling here, and it just needs to be looked at a little bit further, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
So,
Fair enough.
any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to make a motion to table. Pardon?
You're going to motion to postpone.
Motion to postpone, thank you.
Support.
I have motion, I have support, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's been postponed.
Mr. Colby wanted to say something.
Mr. Colby, did you want to say something?
You touched on so many points that I have in my little letter here. But yes, I would like.
Would you come?
Well,
up
you
to the
need to
mic?
come to the podium. Yeah.
And I agree with you, Liz, 100% flipping that.
Thank you.
My name is Clark Colby. I'm the owner of Wash Me Car Wash, 901 Nordic Drive. I also have a home at 3133 North Mistwood Court. I've lived in this township all my life. I raised my family here, built my business here. I've met a lot of wonderful, wonderful people over the years at my car wash. I thought during the Planning Commission meeting that this car wash was a done deal. But after watching the Cedar Island and Bogey Lake subdivision project get turned down, I realized I needed to make a stand. We are not starving for car washes in this area. So I reviewed the car wash plan and went out and looked at the site. I want to be clear. I don't want this car wash to go in, but I know it's progress and I know it probably will. I would be fine if it was a mile down the road. It would give me a fighting chance, but it's right next to me. It goes in. If it goes in, they will control the intersection. They will squeeze me. I'm sure the master plan doesn't say build the same business on top of another business to put a business out of business. Say that 10 times. I believe the master planning is crucial to placing businesses so they can thrive. A well-balanced community. What's going to stop putting another car wash next to Taco Bell or next to Shell gas station. When Whitewater opened in August of last year, it hurt me. Their bait and switch gimmick worked. 2 months, a $5 unlimited, and lowered their prices close to mine at $8. Took half of my base. Then the township, at the end of September, left for Whitewater. Whitewater is washing their cars for free. Everyone likes free. After 6 months, Whitewater raised all their prices, their lowest 8 to 10. After another 6 months, they raised all their prices again this last August. Their lowest 10 to 12 now. In September, I started getting people back. I even started getting some township cars back. Thank you, Anthony. So let's talk about the entrance on this proposed car wash. The entrance is a disaster. Number one, it's too close to the intersection. I'm going to say it's 90, 95 feet plus or minus to the crosswalk. Not enough room to stack as many cars as they're going to wash. Plus adding regular traffic from Taco Bell, McDonald's, Culver's, Meijer, and Meijer gas station, and any undeveloped lot in the future. Oakland County Road Commission isn't factoring in all the cars that will be dumped onto Bulky Lake Road along with all illegal turns. This car wash stacks 36 cars outside, 5 cars in the wash, and 2 cars being dried at a time. The cars will be 6 to 8 feet apart. The speed will be fast. Their exit is only right-hand turn, except those who want to go to Taco Bell or McDonald's straight through all lanes. People already make left turns coming southbound from Meijer around the boulevard to Taco Bell and McDonald's. Then you have the people going north through 59 intersection. They will stop and straddle the yellow hash mark lines and make illegal left into the car wash. Cars will stack and hold up traffic. No signs or exaggerated dog ears will stop this. It hasn't stopped the left at the Shell gas station off Bogey, the left at Kohl's, the left at Kroger out to 59, the left at Taco Bell and McDonald's around the boulevard. Whitewater down the street can make a left and a right turn, a hand turn, and they have good stacking distance from the intersection. That's good planning. That's a controlled entrance and exit. My exit has a lot of distance to 59 and 3 ways to get onto 59. McDonald's has 3 ways to get onto 59. Meijer's has 3 ways to get onto 59. The entrance here needs to be moved. If the entrance was on the side street by Culver's, it would be a controlled entrance and exit. There would be a left and a right and 3 ways to get to 59. It's good planning. They're going to say grade is an issue. No, it isn't. Engineering it, flipping it, safety first. If grade is an issue, then this property isn't for their car wash. Let's talk social media. There was a lot of people commenting. Not one of them wants another car wash. There are a lot of posts, a lot of them. I picked out a lot of comments. There's a lot of critiquing of the township and leadership. Why are they putting in another car wash? A new one was put in down the street, and there is one next to McDonald's. We need to change who's running things. Now, these are all things on social media. Concerns about traffic at the intersection. I agree with that. Concerns about water management. Some said, let's put another McDonald's. How about a Taco Bell, a Wendy's, a Tim Hortons, Trader Joe's, Longhorn Steakhouse, a post office, a civic center, Chili's, Olive Garden, Panera, Aurora, Black Rock. Many people said I moved away from Farmington, Dearborn, and Southfield to get away from this. A gas station, a party store, and a car wash in every corner. Do we need another car wash? No, in parentheses. There are a lot and a lot of no's. Not one person said they want another car wash. That tells you something. The traffic is only going to get worse. The entrance needs to be moved. Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Mr. Colby. Okay, you have your instructions, and we will go from there. Next item.
Can I comment? Thank you, Mr. Colby, for your letter. I did read it before it was forwarded to the board. I just want to make a couple comments, and I want my comments to reflect on the record, please, Hannah. I don't drive a township car. Another car wash does not wash my car for free. And I didn't know that that was a perk given to anybody at the township. We don't, just to clarify, the board doesn't decide what comes in, we just approve plans. So when the developer wants to put something on private property, the board doesn't decide what that is. So, like, we don't decide that there's 3 Taco Bells. We don't decide, what comes in as tenants, things like that. So when you see things on social media, like, why is the township building this? We're not building it. I just want to, I know you know that, but I want to clarify for anybody that's listening or residents here for this evening. And the last thing is, when Cosmo came in, I questioned them why they wanted to put a car wash. And I would have asked these gentlemen the same, but we postponed tonight. So when they come back before us, I'll be asking them that question. When Cosmo came in, I said, why do you want to put a car wash here? You'd be the 3rd on this corner, and we have a 4th a mile or 2 down the road. And I had asked my board at that time to consider an ordinance, like some other communities have, to limit how many things are within proximity to each other, how many Taco Bells are within proximity, how many car washes can there be within proximity to each other. And I didn't receive any support at that time from my board members of any interest to change that ordinance here in White Lake. This township board does have the authority to do that. So I'm just going to put it out there again to my board members that maybe that's something we can think about. I know you're not interested in it, and you can all shake your heads, but we do have the ability to do that. We can say, we're not going to have this many of this kind of product this close together. I know you don't want to support it, but we can do it. It's something to think about in the future, and I think it's something that our residents probably would support. So, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, 1 second. I'd like to, we do wash our cars. We do pay for them, the township cars. And we do use your car wash. Excellent service. You've been there. You're a small business owner. I support small businesses. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Next item on our list, item 7C is request for approval Oakland County Water Resources Commission Sewer System Operation and Maintenance Agreement. What you may or may not know is that Commerce Township is no longer using WRC to operate their facility or be the overall maintenance caretaker of their system. And in turn, it has changed some of our dynamics. Although Mr. Potter has had a good relationship with Oakland County for the services that have been done and brought this forth to us.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So as my memo states, Mr. Supervisor has stated as well, Oakland County is no longer going to be operating Commerce Township's sewer system. Commerce Township and White Lake Township have both been operated by Water Resource Commission for many years. We have had a very good working relationship with Oakland County. So Commerce Township was notified back in the summer that Oakland County wanted to work with them on updating their operational agreement. Commerce elected not to move forward with that. Oakland County gave them till December 15th to make a decision on that. They've decided that they're going to work with another company. Now, Commerce Township has not notified White Lake Township of this to this day. Again, we do have a very good working relationship with Oakland County, so I have been in contact with Oakland County since the beginning of this. We've been working at the DPS Advisory Committee with Steve Jopich, an attorney out of Lisa's office, that produced this agreement. We do not want to have an operational breach in contract. I don't want to have a period of time where we do not have a contracted operator. Steve has reviewed this agreement and found it to be basically one that he wrote for another township. He finds the agreement to be acceptable. It does have a very lenient termination clause. So either the township or the county can terminate the agreement on 90 days' notice for any reason, which was actually this very similar language to what was in our original 1998 agreement. So I'm asking the township board to approve the operating agreement for sewer system operation and maintenance with the Water Resource Commission, and authorize the township supervisor and the township clerk to execute the agreement.
Okay. Counselor, any questions or comments?
I just saw in your memo that you're asking that the agreement be approved subject to confirmation by my office. Did you already get that confirmation?
Steve has been working directly with the advisory committee, so this was something that was an ongoing process. I did want to run that by Steve one more time, just as a.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and the DPS Advisory Committee has looked at this and understands we really do not want to have a gap in service potentially because for obvious reasons. So we basically thought it would be best to bring it before the board ahead of time to nip any problem in the bud, so to speak.
The main issue for us is that Commerce Township really has not been including us in any discussion that they're having with their preferred contractor. Not really sure what their intention is. Our negotiations on our sewage treatment agreement with Commerce Township have not gone very well. They've hit some roadblocks. And so our 1998 agreement specifically allowed for White Lake Township to use Water Resource Commission as an operator. And exactly as Mr. Supervisor has stated, we don't want to have a situation where we're being strong-armed into somebody else's contract with somebody else's contractor. The advisory committee's work has revealed a lot of things about the way the flow of White Lake Township's funds have gone into Commerce Township. I think that our separated operator agreements will further that. It's really kind of bringing a lot to light is how much White Lake money is going into Commerce Township sewer system, which we do believe will help our cause in the future.
We'll see where it all plays out. But Mr. Roman?
Yeah, we've got a lot of unknowns, and it's a shame. We shouldn't be in this position, and we are, due to no fault of our own. But I agree with Aaron. At this point, with everything on the table, all the unknowns, I want to make a change. We've been working with Oakland County for so long. They take care of our sewer system, so I totally support your thought process, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other comments from the board? Okay, that seeing like I will make a motion. I make a motion that we continue we signed a new agreement with Oakland County Water Resources, subject to further attorney review, allowing the supervisor and the clerk to sign the document.
I guess I just have one quick question for Lisa. So our agreement, just to be clear with Commerce.
Let's get a second on the motion.
Oh,
and then
okay.
discuss.
Second.
We have a motion and a second discussion.
Sorry, thank you. Our agreement with Commerce will just evaporate?
I beg your pardon?
Our agreement with Commerce will just evaporate?
It is no
will-
more. It will
Our
evaporate.
agreement with
Right.
Commerce is a separate agreement. So we have two agreements that collectively.
I'm just saying, we don't have to do anything. It just ends on its own.
No, that agreement renewed on its own.
Right.
Okay, renewed on its own.
Yeah, it renewed automatically for, I believe it's another 10 years?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of conversation there that doesn't necessarily take right now, but there's still an effort to get back to the table, and that effort has never stopped.
Just to clarify that agreement is for sewage treatment and distribution. This agreement with Water Resource Commission is for
It's for
system
maintenance.
operation and maintenance.
Like if you have a big sewer pump die or something.
I was just curious if we had to do anything on our end,
Yeah,
but we don't.
okay.
My question was for Lisa. We don't have to do anything.
No, and I thought I too thought you were confusing the two agreements. I didn't realize you just were asking if we needed to do something with the original agreement if we go with the commerce agreement, and the answer is no.
Okay.
We have
Sorry, I
motion-
didn't mean to be confusing.
No problem. We have motion with support. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes, carry. Next item, request to approve new position, Deputy Fire Chief. Chief Feichner.
Good evening, Board. I do not want to recapitulate everything that was in your board packet. Just hit some of the high points as we started, and this was brought up at our budget study session at the beginning of November. We took some of those comments, myself, Supervisor's Office, HR, Finance, really dug in, did a ton of homework on not only what the financial impact would be, but also ultimately what the goal for this particular position is. This position, again, is, if to use a fire and police term, this isn't tasks and tactics. This is programmatic, it's systemic, large-scale things that we have to focus on. In the letter, we talk about, or in the board memo, we talk about 3 specific things, the new state legislature requirements that we have on fire departments. I talk about the ISO standards. And then we talked about some of the requirements and things we need to be doing for our ALS program. We are in a completely different place than we were even a few years ago at the fire department, and we need structure to support the efforts of the firefighters. On the handout that I gave you at the beginning of the meeting, while the memo talks rules and regulations and some philosophy issues, what you have on the document I gave you at the beginning of the meeting was salary and benefits, scrolled out 5 years, and also some of the savings that we would realize with reduction in training costs. We currently send people out quite a bit. Overtime savings for doing that. And then, of course, with the increased attention paid to our ALS program, those are conservative estimates as to what we should start to see as far as the revenue increase to help pay for this. As mentioned at the board meeting, this position and their efforts in fire training and EMS training will bring us, with programs as such, will bring us in compliance with OSHA, MyOSHA, and that new state legislature requirement, which is Public Act 291. I'll take any questions we have.
Explain the 291.
So Public Act 291 went in, was a rewrite of a 1966 law that established all of the firefighter training qualifications and certifications. It was passed in 2021, went into effect in October of 2022. It now requires essentially all of the same training we have to have for our EMS licenses on the fire side of the house. So firefighters have continuing ed, the officers have continuing ed. If you're a driver, hazmat, inspector, fire chief, and all of that has to be programmed and tracked, and it's a complete change from how it used to be. It's more in depth. It holds our feet to the fire, is making sure we're getting the training we need, and all of the requirements that go into that as far as rosters, specific trainings, the number of hours of those trainings that were tracked before, but that wasn't a requirement. And now it has set those levels, and we have to make sure we're meeting those.
Questions for the chief, any?
I have a question.
Mr. Rome.
Hey, Dave, so in regard to ISO, if we can get our points, would it be decreased as a good thing?
Yes, so.
Decreased is a good thing.
Yes, the closer you can get to one,
Okay.
Grand Rapids is the only one in the state. Everybody.
Do you think you can drop us a point with this assistant fire chief?
I think we can probably drop us 2 points.
If you're talking 2 points, you're talking about $100 a home per year.
Yes.
$100 a home. We've got roughly 12,000 residents in the township. That comes to $1.2 million in homeowners insurance savings throughout the township as a whole. That's huge. Okay, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to run the. I didn't realize there was so much red tape with new regs and stuff, and I just want you to know, I support your idea. I think it's good for the township, and I hope the board approves it.
Thank you.
This is, just so the board is aware, this is an at-will employee.
Right.
So this is a non-union position. There is a letter of understanding from the union that indeed it is not a union position, so they have taken that. Unfortunately, the bureaucratic red tape has turned into not just a Christmas ribbon, but a spider's labyrinth of difficulty, and it just takes a lot of time to manage all of these things properly. And when you don't have a dedicated person to do it all the time, chiefs running in 42 different directions, sometimes simultaneously at different times. And when you have individuals, of which we have one or two individuals who I won't call out right now, but they're doing a remarkable job. But the difficulty is that their first job is boots on the ground. And when they can't be boots on the ground, that could have a potential of adverse conditions in the field at some point in time if they can't be where they need to be. And then, of course, now we have the flip side of it, that if they miss something in the paperwork, then the township is subject to scrutiny and audit. So it's almost like chaos by design from the state, okay? Where they're regulating us for reasons that are well-intended, but sometimes have ill result. And unfortunately, with all these things going on, and people need to be trained and certified in a wide variety of things, somebody really needs to mind all of that information on literally a daily basis. So, I mean, that's what I have discovered in some of the conversations that I have had with a few additional chiefs in the general area and actually out of the area. So that's my take on it. So I support the position, but I just wanted to make sure that the board knew that this was an at-will position and it was non-union. Okay. Mr. Anderson?
Chief, one of the things, positive things I look at, it shows as far as the detail that you went through being able to analyze these numbers. And I know you're numbers geek, so this is all good. The key thing is that the premise that you did this, had you done this in another location as far as when you were chief over Springfield or someplace else, that you use this as a basis to generate the savings?
Yes, one of the things we did when we went and started our ALS program in Springfield was we used some of the same cost projections. For example, one of the variables in what you bring in an ALS program is called cost per trip.
Okay.
So you multiply cost per trip times trips, depending on what you're recouping in cost. You don't ever get 100%. You want to be right around 70, is low 70s tends to be good as far as the industry goes. So if we can get into that range, which is absolutely possible, we just need to be paying more attention to the documentation, to our reporting system, and how we interface with our billing company to collect those. And this will allow for that oversight.
Okay. Well, a lot of the times when we look at something like this, it's projected out like 5 years. It's just like, there's a possibility this could happen or whatever else. But that's why I asked the question, had you done this before? And this will be able to validate some of the things in the cost savings that you're saying. So I love it.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, thank you for passing this out. This is absolutely some of the questions I had. So one of the responsibilities of this person would be to go out to the outside trainings and bring the trainings in-house, correct?
Yes, my hope is that when we post the job description, you'll see in that job description some of the qualifications that I expect that person to have. That means we can do those trainings in-house. Those qualifications will allow. So if that person meets all of that, there is no sending him out to bring it back, him or her out.
Yep.
They already have it.
Yep.
So it will eliminate 90% of us having to send people
I go
out.
through a lot of trainings for my part-time nonprofit job, and all our trainings are brought in-house, hence the question, and it totally every bit eliminates the overtime that we don't get. So thank you. But I also know a lot of your overtime comes from shifts. How does that affect the overtime, which is not necessarily, but this person will not get overtime, but, so this is the only way that we're gonna really lower overtime is through the training that's brought in-house during the shift.
Yes, and what will happen is between myself, between this individual, we will be able to hit all the shifts.
Okay.
So we won't have to bring people in to do their training. Like Sunday, we did ice water rescue training.
Saw that.
So everybody had to come in. Why? Because the ice rescue technicians were on that day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if we can spread that out, now offering the training, let's call it shift friendly, now we don't need people to come back in on their days off.
Okay, thank you.
When you came in to, as chief when it was August, where were we at as far as transport money-wise?
We were right around $60,000.
And where, since you've been here, where are we at today?
We're going to be somewhere between 115 and 120 by the end of the year. We're just about at 100. We're just eclipsing. I don't have the numbers for as of today, but I can tell you we were at, I'm looking at my revenue number. We were eclipsing $93,000.
What motivated, where'd the motivation come from the time you came in till today that we've increased that? And what, something wasn't going on prior to you getting here. What, can you explain that?
I think probably awareness and buy-in. One of the things we communicate to the membership is of all the things you can control to help with our budget at the fire department is doing transports. And we were averaging somewhere around 20 out of 250 calls a month. We are now 50 to 60 of those 200 calls a month, and that will continue to grow as we're paying more and more attention to it. We discussed it at our department meeting we had about a month and a half ago and said, we're doing ALS and we need to be providing that level of care. We need to be going. And as a result, the crews are really throwing themselves at it when we have the medics and the trucks available, and they're doing it, which is great.
And right now, we just have one firefighter or person that's doing most of the ALS and
Yes.
billing and all that. So this will alleviate that, which will free up people. I guess that's where I'm getting at, to get the motivation to go back out there and then transport more, because that's going to take a workload off that one specific individual that's handling all that. When he's got multiple duties within the station, right?
Exactly. And one of the education things, and Supervisor Cole brought up, not all the shifts have somebody that can do EMS training or fire training. So in fact, yesterday I was out of the office for about half the day doing and helping that shift do EMS training, because the shift that was on yesterday doesn't have somebody that can do that.
Does the state look at us, like look at the fire department as far as training records and things like that and evaluate us on that?
Every year, the state does come in and do an agency inspection as far as the EMS stuff. With the new rewrite of 291 on the fire side of the house, the state and state OSHA, using Part 74, which is the OSHA training requirements that work hand in hand with it, they can come in and do audits. They can audit you personally, and they can audit us as an agency.
So where would we find
Counties
that?
also got their.
We probably wouldn't fare too well, but with what you're, suggesting with this new assistant chief, that would improve our scores overall, right?
100%.
Which would make us, goes back to what treasure, our ISO ratings and overall view of the fire department, right?
Yes.
Hey, Anthony, you asked about transport revenue.
Yes, sir.
So we're at 100 just under 105,000 for the year. But interestingly, just for November, Dave brought in just about $20,000. So he's really increased, the monthly amount. And if you took that 20 and annualized it, you're at about 240 grand. So, great job.
Great job.
For the record, all I do is point, and the boots on the ground, the team does. If I have to transport, I will, but they're doing a lion's share of the work, and
Well, we got to pay
tip the
for
hat to
those
them.
new ambulances.
That's right, and they are amazing.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the board?
I'll just say real quick, Chief, you and I are still getting to know each other since you're new, but I'm a big supporter of the fire department, and I try really hard to always support you guys. And I appreciate you bringing this to us. Anything that makes our department stronger, safer, more competent is only best for our residents and their safety. So that's always my concern is our residents' safety. So this is a win-win. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeking a motion. Mr. Roman?
Motion to approve the assistant fire chief position.
Support.
I have motion and support. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, Chief. Resolution 25042 imposing a temporary moratorium on the expenditure of public funds to construction improvement and maintenance of private roads. We had this conversation last month, and after talking to a few different folks and discussing this thing further, it makes sense for us at this time because of bonding, potential bonding limitations and things of that financial nature, that we just put a moratorium on it for, I believe it's for 18 months, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was for, through December 25th, or 31st of next year.
Sorry.
So was it about?
Well, we started talking about
About a
this
year.
About a year, okay. We talked about this.
Can I also?
Yes, please.
I would just like to clarify, while the title refers to using public monies on private roads, the clarification, if you read the entire resolution, the township doesn't use public funds to pay for the maintenance of private roads, because all we do is front it, and then we use special assessments to collect it back. So it's not really the expenditure of public funds, it's almost like the financing of it until the money comes back. The title is a little misleading, so I just wanted to clarify that for the benefit of the public.
Thank you, Counselor. Any questions or comments? Other than that, seeking a motion.
Make a motion.
Please do, Mr. Noble.
Make a motion for Resolution 25-042 imposing temporary moratorium on expenditure of public funds for the construction, improvement, and maintenance of private roads.
That's motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. I'd like to thank Dave, our assessor, for all his hard work for this, too. Next item is a fireworks display. Chief, you got anything to add on it? Just, okay.
It says we will do an on-site inspection. I will be there with the fire marshal to do that inspection day of. We're doing some also further work with Alpine Valley as far as shutting down particular runs and stuff as well. So safety, our number one concern, the fire marshal and I are working on.
You don't want to knock anybody off their skis? Okay. Okay. Let's just go to, any questions? This is pretty routine. So I'll make a motion to approve the permit for the Alpine Valley fireworks.
Support with a quick comment. Is there any way this can be put on our township Facebook page? Because like that night, it seems like, I guess just to educate the residents of why.
Just get a hold of Kelly.
Okay.
We'll put it out
Thank
there.
you.
It's just kind of like a heads up type thing.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
PSA, yep.
Okay.
Thank
The
you.
motion, looking for support?
Support.
Motion, support, all in favor? Aye. Ayes have it.
I think Andrew.
Yeah, I
I'm
said
sorry.
support with a
You
question.
supported it.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I beg your pardon.
I was focused on my question.
Sorry, Steve. You lose that one.
I'll cry later.
Thanks, Hannah.
I'll get you the Kleenexes.
Civic Center update. We have been busy as bees, working on a wide variety of things. We now have grinder stations set at both buildings. It's actually been done for a little bit yet, but it is done. The continued work on the mechanical on the inside of both buildings has been moving forward. Public safety's roof panel system is going on. Township Hall's roof panels are going on, and if you have seen some of the pictures, the inside is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful because all that natural wood. It's going to be a very warm and inviting atmosphere on the inside, and warm too because it's going to be a super insulated roof. They do a sandwich construction of the current panel that's up there now is like 6 inches thick, cross laminated, and then the I think it's 8-inch or 10-inch iso foam insulation panel, and then 2-inch airspace, and then a roof panel on top of that. So that thing will be like an igloo. It'll be super easy to keep warm. So moving in the right direction and making things happen. Did you want to say something? Or were you going that way? Oh, well, you go that way. All right.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. All right. And so it's going in the right direction. Mr. Roman, you got anything to add?
No, it's making great progress. We could ask for a little more cooperation from Mother Nature. A little warmer, drier weather would be great, but we're chucking along.
They stopped.
Just so everybody knows, Stanley Park is open for foot traffic only. It's been brought up many times. I'll bring it up again. So we was recommended by all the contractors to let the soil settle out there. We had folks that didn't quite stay on the pavement where they should have been, and they found out the hard way that fresh spread dirt doesn't hold a car very well. So the best conclusion was to let it settle over the winter and find its way. And then sometime in the spring, we'll also have a ribbon cutting down there of a sort. And good news to everyone, we received our $500,000 Department of Natural Resources Trust Fund grant for the next phase of the park, which will start to be planned in '26, and construction will probably be in '27 sometime.
That means all that talk of multi-use courts was just fine.
That too. That's right.
That's what it means.
Okay, any further updates? I'll go into trustee comments. I'll start out with trustee Voorhees.
Thank you. I'm just going to quickly thank you, the township and all the staff members that put together a fantastic tree lighting ceremony. Cold night and all, the hour plus I was there with my mom. It was great. It's always a fun event. So thank you to the staff members, too many to mention, and everyone have a great holiday season. Thank you.
All right, trustee Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I'll ditto Andrea. The tree lighting was very cold, so thank you to everyone who came out and bared with us through that. I appreciate you supporting the township. The library had a wonderful celebration wrapping up their 50th anniversary last week. I was pleasure to attend. They've been celebrating their 50th anniversary all year. It's not too late to celebrate if you haven't had a chance. They're decorating a tree that you can go do. There's still a few little things, so if you want to get in on the celebration, stop by the library. Friends of the Library had a very successful book sale, of course. And then I want to mention, what else? We had a lovely township luncheon last week as well, and I would just want to thank everybody for coming. We don't get the chance often to meet as a collective group, and it was very nice to have lunch with everybody, and we have a wonderful staff and employees here at the township, and it was just such a pleasure to be with them all. I want to thank Pastor Todd for coming this evening and praying over us. I very much appreciate that. And the inside of the township is coming along as well. I didn't get to mention that. We're working on countertops, some paint. We have the carpet selected. We've selected the workstations. If anyone's interested, there's pictures we can share. And then I think that's about it. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a safe and Happy New Year, and we'll see you all in 2026. Wasn't that fun to say when you were kids at school? See you next year. All right, thank you. God bless.
Okay, I'm going to go to Mr. Anderson.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor. Just wanted to remind again about the Lakes area Chamber of Commerce having that black and white award ball on 1/23/26 at Edgewood Country Club. Should be a very good event and support them. Also, want to make mention, I think we talked about the Huron Valley ribbon cutting to renovate the multipurpose room. That's going to be on the 12th there as far as Lakeland High School. They ended up having that turned over from the pool to a multipurpose room, which is probably going to be more people using it rather than the pool. And that was done with their 2024 bond and their 2019 bond and building site, the sinking fund. We had 2 cases with the ZBA. One was approved. The second one was a no-show as far as the applicant, but we proceeded to review it, have the public hearing, so that we could be proactive as far as when it does come to fruition. And the other thing I just want to remind everybody to, with the holiday season, to go ahead and put Christ back in Christmas and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Mr. Roman.
Just want to thank you all for coming out to the board meeting tonight, and those that tuned in, thank you. And just wish everybody a safe, happy holiday season, including my board members.
There we go. Thank you. Mr. Noble.
Just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and Happy Holidays. So,
That's it? That's it. Okay. Well, I'd like to call the little program that we have going at the township, which is Can the Halls. And Can the Halls, for those of you who may not be familiar with, is a food drive that supports our direct local food banks that benefit White Lake Township directly. Doesn't go to Wyandotte, doesn't go to Livonia. It stays right here in White Lake Township and takes care of the folks here. And the benefactors that are Open Door, Community Sharing, and Food for Friends Pantry at the White Lake Presbyterian Church. They do a great job. I'd like to thank all the departments and everyone that's helping. That's why there's a bunch of canned food here in the front hall at the DPS building here. And the Township Hall has some. I need more. Hint, hint. So we have so many days left of that. We'd like to get that done. I really would like to give a special thanks to Chief Keller and the Explorers Group, which is part of the White Lake Police Foundation. They had a drive at Kroger's last Saturday.
It was at Walmart too.
Well, this was the food drive that was done at Kroger's, okay?
But what I'm saying, they did have the.
Yep, they've had a presence, and they were very successful in filling up the tables in there. It worked out. Our tree lighting was great. I really want to give a special shout out to Kelly and to Jody, who busted their tail sections to make that happen. And it just would not happen without their help, let me tell you. So a special thanks to all. And I have a special thing. With my job, every now and then I get to do something that's a little fun. So today I was able to perform a wedding, and I really enjoyed it because it was 2 folks that I know, and I would like to wish my very, very best to Diane and Irving. And for that I say, Mazel Tov, and have a great Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, whatever holiday you have in your heart, keep it moving forward. And with that I say, we are going to go into a special session, closed session, approval to recess into closed session to consider attorney-client privilege communications in accordance with MCL 15.2681H. That's in the form of a motion.
Support.
I have motion and support. Roll call vote.
Supervisor Kowal?
Yes.
Treasurer Roman?
Yep.
Clerk Noble, yes. Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Voorhees?
Yes.
We'll be back at some point. Thank you. Make a motion to go back into open session.
Support.
Motion, support, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, with that being said, we will
Thank you.
move forward, and I would like to say to everyone, good night, and I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion to adjourn with support, all in favor? Aye. Adjourn.